Spelunky 2 is a hard game. Sometimes people can get up to 1,000 losses before they come even close to getting a victory. But eventually, when you've played this game for long enough, you learn the ins and outs and the secrets to optimizing your gameplay. And that got me to thinking, what if, out of all of the 4 major buttons that you use, we took out one of them? Can you beat Spelunky 2 without pressing the attack button? So the main gimmick of this challenge is the fact that we're not going to be able to use the attack button at all. Meaning that means we can't pick up items, and we cannot attack enemies with the whip. So most of our damage is going to consist of dealing with enemies by jumping on them. This of course is not difficult at the start of the game, but trust me, it gets bad later on. Now we agreed with the shop. We of course, while we could rob it, we cannot either pick up the ice gun nor equip the power pack without actually buying them. So we must, of course, ignore it for now. You can see here that even getting rid of a single bat can be a real nuisance. Same with getting rid of arrow traps, since we cannot arrow whip, since we are not allowed to use the whip. However, we can break certain things like this box with convenient placed arrow traps. This is an absolute rarity and definitely will not happen consistently. Another thing we can't do, since we cannot pick up enemies, is we cannot reliably sacrifice to Kali, meaning that there will be no Kapala in this run for us. In combination with not being able to pick up pets, we're going to have to rely on the starting 4 HP to carry us, unless a turkey randomly gets cooked. Of course, in this stage we cannot pick up the key, so we cannot get the Ujet Eye, meaning that being able to go to the sunken city is obviously out of the question without Quill and Skip, which is unreliable at best with the inability to pick up items. We have the ability to get some good money here, as buying things from the shop directly is a way to pick items up. But however, we cannot drop items after we pick them up, so we need to be considerate about that. Plus, using items is not possible as we cannot use the attack button, so items like a shotgun or even a plasma cannon are completely useless to us in this challenge. The money, however, may be useful for buying supplies like ropes and bombs, as we do not use the attack button to use those. A well-placed bomb, since we cannot cook the bombs, lets Quillback die incredibly easily, netting us +2 bombs and +1 health, more importantly. We are required to bait out the lava bucket drop from these imps in order to get rid of them, instead of being able to just whip them directly. We of course cannot free Van Horsing, as we are not able to pick up the key, unless we somehow manage to get a skeleton key beforehand, but there's very little chance of that actually happening. While we have enough bombs to enter Vlad's castle, provided we get good generation with powder kegs, we however cannot pick up Vlad's cape, aka the whole reason to go to the place. The only possible mobility we can have is with pets, aka this turkey or this rock dog. However, because I'm a complete idiot, I missed the jump and, well, that's the end of attempt 1 of this challenge. Sometimes using a rope is worth it to prevent 2 damage being dealt to us. However, this will of course quickly exhaust our supply of ropes. So it's probably not worth doing this early on, especially on level 1-1. Here's another problem with the dwellings. These piles of skeletons that we cannot get rid of without a bomb. If you see one too early, might as well reset. Of course you can just use a bomb to get rid of it, or bypass the area entirely. But unless you're getting super lucky with the bombs, most likely you will not have enough to get through the rest of this challenge, as there are more difficult problems later on in the run. You see, we can't even enter this shop without getting hit by this caveman, since we cannot whip. What nice level generation. This shop is, however, useful, as it contains not only ropes, but it contains a pet, or a mount of sorts. With this, we're able to double jump, and we effectively have Vlad's cape, as long as we can keep the turkey alive, which is easier said than done. Getting Quillback to destroy this level is paramount, as it lets us take the turkey with us to the next stage. A well-placed totem trap allows Quillback to be killed rather easily. However, make sure that Quillback is actually dead before walking back to him, otherwise you'll have to deal with him in some other way. Now, we cannot climb up chains while keeping this turkey, as we cannot pick it up to carry it with us. And unfortunately, some bad level generation means that we're going to have to sacrifice it for an extra jump. This setup is of course much more challenging than it is even in the base game. However, with some good positioning, and timing, and not getting knocked back into lava, we can get through with only a single hit. It is a 2 damage hit, but it is still only 1 hit. The moon challenge is of course useless, as we cannot pick up the pickaxe. Conveniently though, we find another cave turkey here. In an attempt to speed up the progression of this level, we use a spike ball in order to get to the bottom of the stage and avoid any potential dangers. With 2-4 out of the way, we progress on to Olmec's lair. This is pretty much the most straightforward thing ever. We can only deal with Phase 1, and we cannot deal with Phase 2 as we cannot actually attack Olmec with anything. So we're going to, of course, have to go to Tidepool instead of Temple. I mean, not like you'd want to go to Temple anyway. A simple left-right maneuver is all it takes to get through Olmec's lair. Simply dismount the turkey, push the block, and you can go directly to Tidepool. Now, of course, due to the set piece here, and we have no ability to attack and actually use a lever to remove the block, we're of course going to have to bomb through it. And since we are not able to press the attack button, we cannot roll the dice in Madame Tusk's gambling hall, meaning that we cannot get any of the 5 items. Another bomb is used to get rid of this block. And conveniently, there is another turkey here. We are going to wait until it faces right, so it will run off the right edge, so that it doesn't plummet into the water below. We bait out an octopus here to get out of the way, and we progress safely to 4-3. And we get a straight shot directly through to 4-4. Perhaps the least seen stage in all of Spelunky. A mean combination of a Junction Assassin and a Lion Trap leaves us with no more turkey for this level. However, the keen eye shows that there is an axolotl over here. Unfortunately, this axolotl led to my death as I was foolish enough to think that this octopus down here would not instantly kill me with its ability to deal damage even when above it without spike shoes. And thus run 2, or 5 if you can't resets, is a failure. But now's not the time to give up. You never know when the Spelunky gods will smile upon you. Use a few bombs to open a few crates to get some extra bombs. A welcome start in anyone's books, leaving us with 7 bombs at the end of the first level. As good as spike shoes would be for this challenge, we unfortunately don't have the money, and don't feel like angering the shopkeepers just yet. We only need to scavenge a tiny amount of gold before we can get it, however. We're going to need a rope to remove the arrow trap down here anyway, so if we just get one tiny piece of gold, we can grab those spike boots and be on our merry old way. One elongated battle with Quillback later, we dispose of him with the spike shoes, netting us with a total of 10 bombs. Unfortunately, some bad timing with a single lava bug knocks us into lava, and we are, of course, destroyed. At this point, I decide no matter what happens, it is worth continuing the run, even though we are wasting 2 bombs on level 1. We trade a rope to the shopkeeper in order to gain 3 bombs to replace the ones that we lost, and some nice spike shoes, as they are probably the most useful item for this run. With the shopkeeper guarding the exit and us having no way to get rid of him, we rely purely on sheer timing to get past him. Quillback conveniently runs over a chest for us, revealing a shotgun. However, we of course cannot pick up the shotgun, as we are not allowed to press the attack button. It's truly a pain to get such lucky events and to not be able to use them. We are immediately greeted with firebugs torching a turkey, possibly to mock us in our quest. Quickly rob the caveman of his turkey and proceed through the level. We are greeted with so many Kali altars, with only the shame of not being able to use them. Especially with how many of them already have good things right next to them. We spot a very kind general store carrying all sorts of assorted goodies, most notably paste and 12 bombs. It is of course worth it to buy instead of actually wasting a rope. As we only have 2 ropes, we need to be careful with them if we need to get up somewhere. While attempting to make another spike bolt passage, a lava man spews hot goo everywhere, leaving us inconvenienced at best. However, that could have gone bad very easily. We spy one crate in the top left of the ceiling and place a very poorly placed bomb. And check on the right, where there is another one, with another bomb that we are used, while we still have 20 of them. Unfortunately, crate number 2 only contained a parachute, and as we can see here on the left, crate number 1 contained spike boots, which would have been nice if we hadn't already had them. We move on to Tidepool, narrowly escaping a few bombs, and vastly more prepared than we were beforehand. However, I do show here that you can use Olmec's bombs to go to Temple if you truly wanted to. I don't advise doing such a thing, as there are very much more difficult enemies than in Tidepool. However, it is an option if you feel like it. We dismount the turkey in order to make use of the spike boots we have to get rid of the octopi, just to make this challenge a little bit safer. We narrowly sneak by a Jiangshi and stomp King Crab to death, dealing a massive amount of damage in a short time with the spike boot mini-hop. Our turkey gets poisoned by an unfortunate hit from a hermit crab, but thankfully there's another one in short proximity. We get rid of a nasty little octopus that breaks the shell of a hermit crab, revealing 3 bombs, which benefits us greatly. Unfortunately, this Junction assassin was waiting in the perfect spot, with a perfect jump lined up, so we must dismount the turkey to survive this encounter. As all seems fine though, a notorious octopi is lined up in also the perfect spot to get rid of us and finish us off for good by knocking us into the lava. We see a very nice shop at level 1-2 containing paste, which is of course one of the best items in the game, considering we cannot cook bombs. meaning that in order to actually kill enemies with bombs, we're going to have to directly throw them at them. We face a very mean set of traps at 1-3. It does disarm the shopkeeper, arming him with, instead of his normal shotgun, a freeze ray, which is of course a much weaker weapon against the player. We can go back and grab the 12 bombs and the spike shoes he had on sale. Unfortunately, of course, we cannot pick up the power pack. By simply placing a bomb down here, we can grab the turkey, which will help us through the levels. With one less health, but still. Unfortunately, from Quillback's careless rolling, he manages to hit himself with the curse pot, calling the ghost far too early. This of course means I don't actually have the time to steal the bombs and turkey from his dead corpse. Your voice echoes in here is possibly the worst thing to hear in this sort of challenge, as I don't have the time to meddle around. Very unfortunate tick of damage here causes the turkey to be cooked. While we do gain +1 health from it, I would much rather have the mount itself. However, a convenient rock dog appears, and fortunately, I don't actually fail on this one, and manage to sneak myself a rock dog. In an attempt to get rid of the shopkeeper via natural causes and not gain extra aggression, a pot is hit, leaving a magma man to deal with him. Fortunately, the shopkeeper dies just before the magma man expires, and we enter the level 2-2 with complete forgiveness. 2-2 is very uneventful as it is just the drill stage. However, 2-3 sets us up with a very bad course of action. As you can see here, this is impossible to get through without a whip, unless we use one of our bombs. And it's true, we do have 17 of them, but it still doesn't feel good using them to just break through the level. As we start to leave Volcana on a sad note that we haven't actually picked up anything useful here, an alcove shows up. Could there be anything useful in here? Usually I would say no, but thankfully I checked, and in the corner of my eye I see it. A jetpack. Using a paste bomb to get rid of it and get hit with a rock consequently, because of course I do. We rope up, and unfortunately while we cannot steal, we can buy it. And thus, we can buy it with all the money we have. And thankfully, since you buy it from your shop directly, it is automatically equipped, meaning you do not use the attack button to put it on. Subsequently, we ditch the rock dog and continue on with our newfound jetpack and heightened sense of mobility. Back to Tidepool, the furthest we had gotten before, and we are of course immediately treated with the need to use a bomb to get past this blockade. In 4-2 we face a very nice shop with some rather useful items for us. Most people do not like the pitcher's mitt, but it will be useful in this challenge. Other than that, the level is pretty much non-existent. We drop straight to the bottom and skip everything else. We check the bottom route to see if there's anything useful or any way to onk skip, although we do not need it, because going to Abzu is completely useless. We do get hit with a bat though, because of foolishness, however. Dropping a bomb to skip the area with the bear trap, as of course we would need to bait it out, or get another enemy to step into it. And of course, getting rid of the hermit crab does not open the crate, so that crate will be wasted, as the only way to open it is to bomb it, and it will surely drop into the lava below. With this, we enter the ice caves, stage 5-1. Kali is sure to be angered soon by the UFO that is hovering precariously above her altar. That really couldn't be avoided. A gambling house appears in the ice caves, however it is useless, as of course, as stated before, we cannot pick up the dice. Neo Babylon is of course the most dangerous stage to have a jetpack in, however one hit in any way would still kill us, as we only have 2 health. A bomb is used here to get rid of this stupid elevator that could potentially crush us, and limits our time of progressing through the level to be on rhythm with it. Here we use a UFO to blast through the level for us, with moderate success. The level conspires to throw flaming UFOs at us. We wait for the Olmites to be killed by the spark traps so that they are not a threat to us or our jetpack. A close call that could have easily ended the run. We have no access to Madame Tusk's Shop of Horrors, as we have not gambled away, nor do we have the ability to pick up a shotgun and really deal with the guards themselves. A small blockade stands in the way between us and the end of the stage at the bottom. By dodging the flaming axolotl, waiting a bit, and then blowing up the wall, we can easily proceed to 6-4, the end of the run. Now of course we have no way to actually attack Tiamat ourselves. However, we do have one thing that puts us in the clear. Bombs. Sticky bombs. Sticky bombs with pitcher's mitt. By placing a simple rope here, clearing the way of any enemies, and going near Tiamat, to bait out her scream, we can deal a berserker blow with the bombs, killing her instantly. And with that, the Spelunky no attack button challenge is officially over. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this challenge. It was a lot of fun to do. Well, at times it was. If you like this video, feel free to leave a comment. I do read all of them, even though I may not respond to all of them. And who knows, maybe in the future I'll come back to this challenge and try to get rid of a certain two-headed egg. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.